Hello guys, and welcome back to our channel. I welcome you to a thought-provoking conversation that's sparking debate and discussion around segregation, biblical interpretations, and racial dynamics. Now in this video, we take a look into a passionate exchange between a sister and a palm color man who present differing perspectives on segregation and its implications biblically. The sister argues that segregation is biblical, citing the concept of separation between the children of Israel and other nations. Now, she also posits that palm color supremacy is built on the premise of superiority over black people, and that segregation would dismantle this false pride. On the other hand, the palm color man counters that the idea of segregation is ridiculous, citing the biblical concept of the Gentiles being grafted in due to the intermixing of bloodlines. He dismisses the notion that skin color has any relevance to this discussion. Now, I want you, our viewers, to join in the discussion and share your thoughts. I really need you to help on this to get it right. So with that said, let's hear their perspectives. I will be right back.
Y'all funny. Segregation. Are you serious? But y'all not ready. Before I even move forward, first of all, segregation is biblical. The Most High, He always wanted the children of Israel to be separated from all the nations, but you went into captivity and forgot who you were and start getting comfortable amongst your enemy, mingling and marrying and mixing and having children with them. But y'all really not ready for segregation. Y'all can't even separate in that area. But let's move forward. Okay, let's just think about this. Was built off treating blacks bad or feeling superior to blacks, so-called blacks. So if segregation took effect, it's out the door. It's trash. You can just ball it up and throw it away. Why? Because it's solely based off your false pride and superiority over so-called blacks. Now you gotta sit and deal with your own. No more blaming black people for your problems that pre-existed 10 years before you ever met them. Secondly, I just want to know what so-called black is eating at an all-white restaurant. Oh, wait. Yeah, all the white restaurants are getting closed down. Because guess what? We do the cooking. We bring the flavor. We bring the seasoning. We bring the sauce. Because we are the salt of the earth. Again, y'all music is, oh my God. What music? I forgot. You steal everything. Culture vultures. If we separate, what exactly do you all have? How can you live? See, but we'll be just fine. Per usual. We always fine. We chill. We the salt of the earth. Y'all take from us. We don't take from you. And if we're separated, in due time, you all are going to become extinct. The only way you're surviving now is through mixing. And speaking of mixing, what are all the interracial marriages and relationships going to do? I'll wait. Because you know that's a sin too, to be mixing with the nations. You're supposed to stick with your own kind anyways. And then I think that's enough for y'all to swallow. At the end of the day, the Most High spoke to the children of Israel and said, be ye separate, holy, because He's holy. Separate from your enemy. Though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. All this has to happen. The Most High, He is dividing, He's separating. He's sifting and sieving. He's taking His, He's tucking us away. So I'm not even mad about it. I know they're saying that the ban was lifted for federal contractors, and a lot of people are taking it to now segregation is legal again. Whichever, whoever, however y'all want to do it. At the end of the day, we gonna be good. As always. Think about Black Wall Street. Y'all not ready? Y'all really not ready. Y'all couldn't handle it then, and you damn sure can't handle it now. It's 2025. Hey, we not our ancestors, okay? We not taking none of that And so with that being said, we got to move real wisely. Do not let Trump is a antagonist, okay? Every executive bill he passed is poking, is provoking, is antagonizing someone somewhere, some country, some state. If not blacks, then whites. Trump is full of war. His words are smooth as butter, but war is in his heart. This man is a man of war. He want nothing more than to start a civil war. Like I said, back to my dream, he will start World War III because it's evil in his heart. Just look at the things that he's doing. But again, back to the topic. Y'all really not ready for segregation. Stop playing with yourselves. We ready. We been ready. We been ready to have our own thing away from y'all. We ain't got to deal with y'all. Y'all ain't got to deal with us. And we would be absolutely okay with that. Where we sign up at? I'm just saying. Shalom.
It's exactly the point. Israel was cut out of Israel. The northern kingdom of Israel was cut out for doing idolatry, scattered into the Gentiles, which is the mystery of the gospel of salvation to the whole world. Because the bloodline of Israel intermixed into all the different nationalities, the promise to Abraham can be fulfilled that all nations, tongues, kindreds, and people will be his seed. You know what I mean? Like, the plan of salvation has always been Israel falling so that the Gentile can be grafted in because of the intermixing of the bloodline. And to think that your skin color 6,000 years after the fact has anything to do with it is just ridiculous, man. Like, I get real dark. I'm super pasty right now. You cannot tell. All the serpent seed guys on here, like, man, they're not purebred white guys. They're not Aryan or whatever they think they're supposed to be. It's just, you're setting an impossible standard for yourself. BHI or serpent seed, like, it's just ridiculous. The Son of God literally told you he could raise up sons for Abraham out of stones. So stop looking into the freaking genealogies, trying to find something, some sort of smoking gun that, you know, your color is the chosen. It's so kindergarten. It's ridiculous. It's Acts 10, Hosea 2, Romans 11. Nation state, or northern kingdom Israel was cut out so that the Gentiles could be saved. Can the Ethiopian change the skin? No. Can the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil. The Messiah, his blood, is what makes you Israel. Obedience to the holy covenants of promise is what makes you Israel. Loving your neighbors yourself is what makes you born of God. And you can't love your neighbors yourself if you think your neighbors are only a people with like certain melatonin level. Not melatonin, melanin. My bad. I'm not a smart guy. Acts 10, Isaiah 56, even in Jubilees it tells you that the strangers that Abraham could have bought with money, whether it be black guys or white guys, I don't care. The strangers, the Canaanites and the whatever the sons of Japheth would be called, if he bought them and they obeyed God, they were his seed. All he had to do was buy him with money, and they could be accounted for his seed. You do not want to set this standard for yourself of you need to be a certain skin color, because you cannot attain that. It is out of your control. You cannot go back and change your genealogy. I literally could not care less if a scripture in the Old Testament says ruddy or bronze, and yet you're as annoying with these doctrines, the UBHI and serpent seed people, as the Christians with their Trinity. Like, oh, God's his own son. This is all I'm ever going to talk about. By the way, let's have a big feast. You're not supposed to be doing the feast. This is why you're so broken in judgment. It's because you're coveting after these damn feasts. You have to make all these other pieces line up. Like, where's the Holy Land? How does the calendar work? When does a day begin? You have to twist all that to make your feasts work. And you're not even supposed to be doing the feasts. You're supposed to be warning the Christian people to keep the 10 Commandments. And only the 10 Commandments. The law is fulfilled in loving your neighbor as yourself, which means to rebuke sin. Because it doesn't matter if you have a fence on your roof. What matters is you fulfill the spirit of the law of Moses. And the whole law of Moses is fulfilled in loving your neighbor as yourself according to Leviticus 19:15-18. Not in literally building a fence on your roof and literally having your crops grown separately and your cattle stored separately and your garments worn separately. Ignorant people that just think you're so puffed up and smart by going to the letter of the law. Obviously, there's a group of unjust stewards. Who do you think the unjust steward is that scatters the flock by telling them to do too much? Who could that be?
Now, let me first start by saying that I feel there's some truth in all of this, but like I said earlier, I need your views as well in order for us to get this straight. But I must say that the words spoken by a sister in this video resonate deeply. Her argument that segregation is biblical and that it would dismantle palm color supremacy is rooted in a profound understanding of our shared history and the ongoing struggles of our community. For far too long, our people have been subjected to systemic oppression, forced assimilation, and cultural erasure. We have been made to feel inferior, ashamed of our heritage, and disconnected from our ancestral roots. Now, the sisters' call for segregation is not about separating ourselves from others out of hatred or superiority, but rather about reclaiming our autonomy, our culture, and our dignity. Now, the truth is, palm color supremacy has been built on the backs of Black ancestors. Through the exploitation of their labor, the theft of our resources, and the erasure of our identities, the sisters' words echo the sentiments of many of our ancestors who fought and got unalived for our freedom and our right to self-determination. The notion that segregation would somehow be detrimental to our well-being or that it would prevent us from accessing resources and opportunities is a tired and outdated argument. The reality is that segregation would allow us to rebuild and restore our communities, to create our own institutions and systems, and to define our own destiny. Of course, this is not to say that segregation is a panacea or that it would solve all of the problems. However, it is a necessary step towards liberation, a chance for us to catch our breath, to regroup and rediscover ourselves. Now, as a sister so eloquently put it, you gotta sit and deal with your own BS. It's time for our oppressors to confront their own privilege, their own biases, and their own complicity in our oppression. It's time for them to take responsibility for their actions and to work towards dismantling the systems of oppression that they have created and maintained. Now, coming to what this palm color man is saying, this palm color man's perspective in this conversation offers a stark contrast to the sisters' views. He dismisses the idea of segregation, citing biblical interpretations and the concept of Gentiles being grafted in due to the intermixing of bloodlines. Now, from his perspective, the idea of segregation is not only ridiculous, but also irrelevant in modern times. He seems to be saying that the biblical notion of separation between the children of Israel and other nations is no longer applicable and that the mixing of bloodlines has rendered such distinctions moot. Now, this palm color man's argument appears to be rooted in a more universalist interpretation of scripture, one that emphasizes the unity of humanity and the abolition of distinctions between different groups. He may be suggesting that the sisters' call for segregation is not only unbiblical, but also counterproductive, as it would perpetuate divisions and hinder the progress of humanity. However, it's also possible to interpret the palm color man's words as dismissive and tone deaf, because his assertion that skin color has no relevance to the discussion may come across as insensitive to the experiences of Black people, who have historically been subjected to systemic ostracism and oppression based on the color of our skin. Now, the palm color man's emphasis on biblical interpretations may be seen as an attempt to supersede the sisters' lived experiences and cultural heritage with his own theological framework, and this could be perceived as a form of intellectual colonialism where the dominant group imposes its own worldview on marginalized communities. Now, having heard the biblical perspectives of both the sister and the palm color man, I invite you to share your thoughts and insights as well. As we've heard, the sister's argument for segregation is rooted in her interpretation of biblical scripture, emphasizing the importance of separation and autonomy for the children of Israel. On the other hand, The Pamkalaman's perspective emphasizes the unity of humanity and the abolition of distinctions between different groups. Now, we recognize that this is a complex and multifaceted issue with valid points on both sides as we consider the biblical perspectives presented. I feel we must also acknowledge the historical and cultural context that shape our understandings of these scriptures. So I ask you, my viewers, how do you interpret the biblical scriptures cited by both the sister and the Pamkalaman? Do you believe that segregation is a viable or desirable solution for the Black community? And how do you think we can balance the need for autonomy and self-determination with the importance of unity and cooperation among different groups? I encourage you to share your thoughts in the comment section. Share your views and what you think about this topic, and let's just have a conversation. We have finally come to the end of the video. Thank you for always watching, but before I go, make sure that you subscribe to our channel if you've not yet subscribed, and turn on your notification bell so that you don't have to miss on any of our interesting videos. And make sure to give our videos a thumbs up if you enjoy our content.